Welcome to the Business Spotlight series. My name is Hugo Breton. I'm a senior partner at Action Coach Holton. And today, as a guest, I welcome Ben Lefebvre. He's the founder and CEO of Aeolus Digital. And he's also a top 40 under 40 in Canada 2023. And Ben, I'm going to read everything on your LinkedIn because I loved it. And the proud father of 3 kids. So Ben, welcome to Business Spotlight.
Well, thank you for having me, Yuko. Thank you very much. And thank you very much for not butchering my surname as well.
Okay. I tried.
And it went
So
really well.
good. Awesome. So we're going to be talking about your business journey and kind of best practices and things you have learned along the way, and also a little bit about your expertise. Now, if it is your first time on the channel, be sure to like and subscribe to get notifications when we drop new conversations just like this one. So Ben, welcome. Thank you again for being here. And give us a brief overview of you and your journey and your business.
Oh dear. Okay. Well, let's talk about me. I'm Ben Lefebvre, and I'm from France originally. I grew up there until I was about 25 and everything. Then moved to the UK, then moved to Canada afterwards. So it's been a while. And thank you for the mention of 40, like top 40 under 40, but I'm over 40 now. So there you go.
Okay. Okay. Early, early.
But yeah, so when I moved to the UK, I started my career in digital marketing. It was very new. It was in 2009, and obviously Google was there. It was like acquiring different search engines and so on. Social media just appeared, Facebook in 2007, I think, or 2008. So everything was pretty new, and obviously, having traditional marketers was a bit difficult because they didn't know all the stuff that was going on over there online. So I've learned from the greatest, which is great, and I've seen also how the evolution of digital marketing has been going too. So there you go. It's been interesting. I've traveled a lot. I've seen a lot of different ways of doing digital marketing, and here we are now in 2024.
Okay. So I have a couple of questions on that, but so j just to learn more about your business, so who is your primary target? So who's your ideal client?
Our ideal clients are like small and medium businesses who've got an appetite to grow, basically, who are willing to hear ideas, that's for sure.
Mm,
And the budget is not a massive issue because we adapt, I would say, and we try to find ways the best for them with the budget they've got, bearing in mind that all the clients we've got tend to stay with us for a long time in the sense that they grow and we grow with them. And it's actually becoming more of a partnership than anything else. And I would say as long as you are within Canada, the US, France, or the UK, we're good. Let's put it
mhm.
this way.
Okay. Okay. Now, you mentioned digital marketing in 2024. Um, what are some of the trends that you're seeing, or for some of the small businesses that watch the show, what are some ways that you've seen that are yielding the best results at the moment?
It's very difficult. It depends on the industry, first of all. And second of all, it depends on your targets as well and who you are targeting as an audience. Each audience will be very different and they will interact with different platforms. And the message would be the key thing you want to push, basically. Um, what I've noticed this year, obviously, AI is a big thing. And I see a lot of people trying with AI, and you can see it. It's AI, but some things might work and some things might not work yet. But don't despair, it might at some point. But the trend as such is because we're in a kind of economical pickle, I would say, in general in North America, in Europe, and so on, people are a bit more reluctant in spending online. And a lot of people are trying to work on organic results. So anything to do with SEO in general, which is great because it's a long-term investment, but they don't see anything going on for a few months, and usually they stop.
Mm.
So that's the main trend at the moment. It's like trying to invest in everything, but because the results are not coming straight away, they stop and actually they waste their money. That's the first trend. The second trend would be in terms of social media as well, and people trying to engage with customers. However, at the moment, people are a bit less inclined to really engage, I feel, nowadays. Because there was an overflow of very fake engagement for a long time. So now people are kind of taking a step back. And also because of the like each platform, as long as they are not too noisy, I think everything is fine. But as soon as they get a bit too popular, then you've got restrictions and you've got these kind of things as well. And then that can also be a bit daunting for users in general. So the what would be the best thing to do at the moment, I would say, is if you've got a bit of money, is to go for paid advertising, because you can switch things on and out. You can like really have very quick results as well. And it also can follow your cash flow.
Mm. Okay. And because going back to the challenges on both trends, on the first one, organic, you mentioned it takes a little bit of time. So for business owners that are starting a blog or content, what is kind of a time frame that they should be having in mind?
It depends on their competition, their online competition, but I would say like you usually can see progress within 3 months to 6 months. It's usually like the idea. Then it depends on the topics you are serving and all these kind of things as well. So if you are just using AI, it's not that great because you're going to have a lot of people using AI as well, and you're going to have a lot of articles that are going to be the same. If you are trying to find something that is really good, I would say get out as a business owner, get out, see what's actually happening, and talk about it.
Okay. Okay. Which was a bit of thing that the challenge on the second trend I wanted to ask you was whether you've seen that kind of that direct engagement or that getting out and making it personal could help on that second trend of getting over the noise and saying, okay, yeah, like I know that before the call we were discussing a couple of calls I made, and they're unexpected. Like people are not necessarily expecting, oh, from the website, now I got a call, right? So
Yeah.
have you seen that that kind of helps, or how can business owners tackle that second challenge?
For the social media side of things, in some ways, because everybody is on social media, everybody wants to be on social media. Like every single business wants to be on social media. And actually, you realize that probably 80% of those businesses shouldn't be. And they are trying something, they are trying to engage with people, but actually they kind of annoy them more than anything else. I think they are like there's a fine balance between trying to sell your services or your products and being overbearing as well. And so usually, I mean, digital marketing was more used for inbound marketing, meaning that you actually put things out and everything and people come to you. But now it's become more outbound marketing as well, where you put things out and everything, but you reach out to them straight away, even if they don't need anything, even if they don't want anything. So basically, it dilutes even more the effect, if you understand what I mean.
Mm, mhm. Okay. Yeah. Let me switch gears and you mentioned that you learn from the best. You started kind of on your own, but you've grown a team. And I know that's for um, service providers, other agencies, that's a big thing of how to think about finding the right partners to scale. Um, can you tell us a little bit about your process of going from kind of starting in solopreneur to starting to put together a team of collaborators?
Um, yeah. So first of all, when you start on your own, you need to be realistic in terms of what you do very well and what you don't do well. That's the first thing. You can't do everything, that's for sure. You're only human. And you can go for a while and everything, but also you realize that the more you get into that kind of mindset, trying to do everything, the less you do in some ways. So what we do at what we did at the very beginning. So at the very beginning, I was working on my own and everything, trying to find a bit more what would be the thing I like the most on my side, as well as the things that can bring the best results for the clients. Then from there, what we've realized as well is the fact that people can have, I mean, companies can have large demands one month and the month after much less. So we needed to be agile as well and being very flexible in terms of team we would have. So it's about defining what are the core services in some way that are always asked and the ones that are kind of add-ons in some ways that you still need to make it work. So we've got a mixed team basically now of full-time employees and freelancers as well we work with. The way we choose our employees or freelancers is on two different levels, I would say. The first is in terms of business culture, making sure that we share the same values, because it's going to be much easier to convey an idea in some ways if everybody's got the same goal. And then like the idea can be actually discussed or anything like that, but it will never be discarded by anybody because we all are trying to reach the same goal. So that's the first thing. And the second thing is in terms of how they tackle digital marketing. You've got like 10 years ago, we're talking about like white hat SEO versus black hat SEO, for example. So like there are things like to cheat the system of the algorithm, and there are other things that go with the algorithm. Basically, that's the idea. So on our side, the master kind of thought we've got is don't think about the platforms or like the algorithm or whatever as such. Think about the user directly. The platform will always try to keep the user on board and to keep the user loyal. So whatever they are going to create is going to be for the user. Our digital marketing world, you've got people are constantly running after platforms like Google, like Facebook and the algorithm and so on. And they all constantly have to change their strategy because those platforms are changing as well. If you focus on the user only, then it doesn't change as such. That the only thing you've got to change is actually the user behavior or the trends or anything like that, like you would do as a marketing person, as a traditional marketing in some ways. And that works really well because then you never have any issues with algorithm update, for example, which could make a massive drop in your traffic. So there are some digital marketers we don't work with because they promise you first page on Google within 2 days. They promise you like this kind of thing and so on. And that, like, yeah, there are ways of cheating the platforms. That's great, but it's a very short-term investment here. And I've never seen any big companies succeeding by doing that. So we're really taking that kind of long-term approach and propose it to the small and medium businesses.
I love that. Think about the user, not the algorithm.
Oh
That
yeah,
makes a lot of sense. So
you do business with users. You don't do business with algorithm. Let's face it.
yeah, that's true. Yeah, and I think it's a great transition because I know that you're very passionate about understanding different cultures, communities, and in fact, it comes maybe from your journey, right? And
Oh yeah.
from France to the UK to coming here and understanding those differences. Um, so tell me more about that, like the understanding that differences in cultures and how they would approach how marketing could change because you're focusing on the users and the users' culture.
Yeah, it's interesting. And anybody who's got kind of a double culture will understand, and you will understand as well, Hugo, because there is something that happens in your brain in some ways. Like when you speak English and when you speak French, in my case, I'm not the same person. I don't think the same way. Things don't resonate the same way either with me in general. So my background, like I grew up in France, but from a Vietnamese mother. I went to the UK, married a British lady. We're here in Canada. We've got like lots of different things. And it is very interesting. Like when I see marketing material in French and marketing material in English, for example, marketing material coming from France versus coming from the US, the French one is going to resonate much more with me than the US one. That's for sure. There are like some adverts here I see in Canada, and the English ones will resonate more than the ones from Quebec, the French ones. But I speak French though, but it's not the same culture. We're not on the same, we're not completely on the same page, I would say. So when I started in digital marketing back in the UK, I was mainly working with the French market and the French-speaking market, but mainly like the ones from Europe. And there were some differences in terms of language, in terms of vocabulary and everything, but also in terms of how you would push a certain product or a certain service. Some people, like some culture, prefer like all the features and everything. Some people prefer knowing about the results you're going to get, how it's going to help with your life and everything. And some other people prefer all the data as well. So it really depends. And that's very cultural. And then started working in that other agency in the UK and helping all those different markets as well. I was in charge of all those different markets. So the German market, the Japanese market, the Korean market. And then like it opens the door even more and say, oh, hang on, we are very different because indeed we can't just translate things. And I was working with top 500 Fortune companies who had the very bad habit of just translating things. So basically, 80% of the product that were coming were from the US with a US mindset, trying to get into those countries, basically. Some of them managed, some of them completely failed. The ones who managed didn't translate their marketing taglines, for example. They didn't translate their content or anything like that, or at least not the marketing content. They were translating the informational content, but not the marketing one. And it was really interesting. When I came here in Canada, I realized that actually there are some countries, especially that rely a lot on immigration to be built. So like the US and Canada, where you can't just target the country as a whole in some ways, thinking like there's a Canadian mindset or US mindset as such, or anything like that. It's made of different communities, especially if you're a local business, especially if you're a smaller business. Here, you are targeting communities, and the communities have their own culture. You won't target and you can drill even further. As an example, you've got people came from China before the writing reform, like in the 30s or something like that, to Canada or to the US. You won't speak to them, marketingly speaking. You won't speak to them the same way as like freshly arrived people from China. It's different culture already. So and they come from the same country. It's just a time frame that is a bit different. And here you've got people from all over the world, and you realize indeed there are like some things. You will see that some businesses are from those communities, and those businesses are working really well with those communities, but not with the others. So it's kind of if we want to, there are like there's another fold as well in this approach is, okay, if we know that each community's got their own businesses and all these kind of things, how can we make sure that we don't fragment the country at some point, because everybody will be completely independent with their own community and nobody will interact with each other. So there is a kind of a vision here as well. When you think like if people want to be living together and live well, they need to also interact with each other, and they need to know their cultures, and they need to know that, because this is what Canada and the US been built on. So I find it very interesting, and I'm really sorry for being a geek here, but I can talk about it for like about 2 hours. So please stop me.
And I love that, and I think it goes back to what you were saying about thinking about the user, because a lot of what you just said, I feel it applies also when you're thinking about different target markets,
Yeah,
right? Saying, hey, as a business, I have different target markets. I need to find the right messages, values, vocabulary to talk to each, because it could be different. But as you said, at the end, I'm still one single business, so there has to be certain
exactly. Uh,
um thing
and
that harmonizes across those.
And you do business with users, and users don't really do business with businesses. They do businesses with people. So like it's again, if you show them there is an interest about their communities, about their cultures, and you are interested, they are more open to open their doors as well to do business with you. And unfortunately, people go with the easy road, I would say, and say, okay, no, that's fine. I know everybody in my French community or wherever, so I can do that. And you can see also like all those business, like like Chamber of Commerce or all these kind of things. So they tend to do business only with their community because they want to help their community. But actually, I don't think it's a great thing to do. You should be able to have everybody entering and like bringing their stone to the to the building.
Yeah, that's true. So thinking about uh, business and vision, I wanted to ask, where do you see your business in the next 3 to 5 years?
Oh dear. How I see it. I see it being like one of the top digital marketing agencies in North America, but with a very strong vision of like trying to unite instead of dividing. We've seen like for the past few years, like divides coming up and so on, and we've got that really deep belief that with trade and helping people do trade and helping people do business, um, having more, being more open to other communities and being more open to other group of people. So in 5, 10 years time, I'd love to for Aeolus to be like a key player in this mission.
Okay. Wow. I love that. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
And it
nothing
goes
is
back
too big,
to,
eh?
yeah, yeah. We need to set those big goals.
I agree.
So a couple of quick, like almost 1 or 2 words questions.
Mhm.
What would you say is the key to success?
Tenacity. And yeah, not giving up, just thinking that every day is different. So if you're having a bad day today, it's not a big deal. Don't reconsider your whole journey and everything because you're having a bad day.
Okay, I love that. And maybe that covers, but other than what our conversation so far, any other advice to business owners that you would like to share?
Um, I think if there is one advice is to, or two advices, I would say. Like the first one is um, see the bigger picture. Always try to see the bigger picture. Whatever you are stuck in everything right now, it's something you will laugh about or anything like that in a few months' time. And you always go through. You always been going through. Why would it stop one day? Like you just carry on, carry on. The second thing is if you've got as an entrepreneur, you're your worst enemy. Um, because usually you are on your own and it's very difficult to talk about your journey unless you are surrounded by other entrepreneurs. However, if you ask other entrepreneurs how a business is, probably 98% of the time they say, great, but let's face it. I mean, like it can't be great all of the time or anything like that. So, but they refuse to talk about their struggles or anything like that because it would be a sign of weakness. On my side, I find it like, no, on the contrary, actually, if we can help each other, let's do it because it doesn't make sense. Why like pride would be bigger than the help you can get and like getting out of pickles in some ways. And like having people like you, for example, like helping businesses grow, trying to understand a bit more, or even like seeing what you don't want to see as well is very, very important. And you need someone at some point in your journey and everything to actually help you do that because it is a favor they're doing for you. So, I mean, in my opinion,
Yeah, that's awesome. And I'm excited for that one because my vision is I want to vanquish that loneliness of the entrepreneur and the business owner and
yeah,
a little bit more authentic. So it aligns absolutely with this advice.
I
Um,
agree.
Great. So, thank you so much, Ben, for your time and being here for at Business Spotlight. We'll share this with your contact information if people want to reach out, and looking forward to hearing about the next steps
Well,
for
thank
your
you very
business.
much. Thank you very much for having me, Hugo. Thank you so much.
Take care.